lying in bed every night just thinking to myself, like, holy snap, what's the next move? What's gonna happen next? What home am I gonna go to? What's gonna be my status? I'm gonna be adopted, put into legal guardianship. What's gonna happen when I turn 18? Can I stay here? So every night I had to deal with that.
Tonight, we will look at the complex world of foster families, sometimes now called resource families, and how we as a community deal with children many times taken from their biological parents by the courts and thrust into the care and homes of families they likely have never met before. I was adopted out of foster care at an early age and still work with foster children. I understand the struggles facing those who haven't found permanent homes. Too often, these children come with a range of emotional problems from a confusing world of family violence, police, caseworkers, and courtrooms. It is not easy to erase the damage. There are headline-making incidents of violence in foster and adoptive situations, but thankfully, those cases are the exception. We hope tonight will make some viewers consider becoming foster parents. Our story is less about faults within the system than about the essence of what defines Hawaii, the love and caring for each other. And that is alive and well in Hawaii's foster family system.
If you can change one life, one child, there is no bad child. That's what I truly feel. No bad child is out there. Bad experiences, bad things that happen to them, which create this hard shell that they create, this wall. And it's our responsibility to chip away at it.
JR and Sherry Andrade have taken more than 70 foster kids into their hearts and home. JR was born into the life of a foster family. His mother and grandmother also took in foster children. Why do you do it?
Why wouldn't I do it? I've known it my entire life. It's a passion of mine. It's something that lives inside me. I mean, I can appeal to everyone and ask them, if you could change one life in your lifetime, I think it's worth it.
Give it a try. In addition to biological kids Jack and Gracie, the Andrades are guardians of 4 kids: 18-year-old Isaiah Marks, 16-year-old Melissa, 17-year-old Kaimana, and 17-year-old Janae. Tell me about your life before you got over here.
There was a lot of moving around. I never really stayed in one place or really got to know anyone. I just constantly moved around.
What have the Andrades taught you that you could pass on to your children?
Patience, kindness.
It is admittedly not an easy life. Kids often come with mental health issues, trust issues, and low self-esteem.
Everything starts happening and they try their hardest to see if you'll give up on them, especially the ones that bounce around, and around. And you don't give up on them, and then they kind of like, why don't you just call a hotline and send me out or whatever, instead of them working. Then when you see them that, wow, these people aren't giving up on me, and maybe I actually have found a family or someone that actually genuinely cares, that to me is pride.
I mean, they come very hardened. They have these walls up, and you have to gently chisel away at that wall, and sure enough, you finally reach that gushy middle, and that's when everything starts to click.
And the most important thing of all, love.
Foster care is not an easy system to understand or navigate. It involves the courts and child welfare services, formerly known as Child Protective Services, or CPS. Decisions are made collectively, and the components don't always agree. But when it works well. The priority is the immediate safety of the child. Cynthia Goss is a branch administrator with Child Welfare Services.
We don't make those decisions lightly because we know the trauma to the child, to the parents, to the siblings. And if we cannot keep the child in the home safely, our next step is to look for family or kinship placements so that the child can be in a familiar environment, hopefully in their same school district with their same friends and support. Law enforcement by statute is the only one who can remove children from the family home. By statute, we are the department who receives the child into custody from law enforcement. If we cannot return the child home, it goes to court, and the court is there to have oversight with the guardian ad litem to say, yes, this child should be in foster care, and we need to do a service plan to work with the family.
The court doesn't want to take the children away from their parents. Absolutely not. It's the opposite. The whole purpose of the proceedings, the CPS proceedings, is to get the children back with their family. But a lot of times parents continue to make bad choices.
Judge Mark Browning has presided over thousands of cases in his 20 years as a family court judge.
The role of family court with respect to foster parents is essentially to involve them in the court process. And by the court process, I mean when a petition is filed with respect to abuse, neglect, the parents are brought into court, appointed attorneys, and the question is eventually whether they're doing services. And essentially, at some point, they're either reunited with their children or they are, the state files a motion to terminate the parents' rights. One of the goals, obviously, in almost every instance, is we want to look at if we can get this kid adopted. But for a lot of children, that never happens, unfortunately. It's very sad. And so the next alternative is guardianship.
Child Welfare Services has come under fire recently for its emphasis on reunification, placing foster children back with biological families. Critics worry that Hawaii's 70% reunification rate, compared to the mainland's 51%, means more children may be placed back in harm's way. CWS, on the other hand, claims Hawaii has the 4th lowest rate of re-abuse in the nation. Though each circumstance is unique, there is one common element running through almost every single case: drugs.
It is all-encompassing in terms of the cases that we see. It hasn't decreased in any form or fashion in terms of any of the cases that we deal with, and we deal with a variety of different cases involving kids and families.
Drugs continue to plague our community, tearing up families and forcing the removal of children from their biological homes into foster settings. While traffic deaths dominate the headlines, drug overdose deaths on Oahu now far exceed automobile fatalities. According to the Office of the Medical Examiner, since just 2012, accidental drug overdoses have reached a staggering 274 deaths on Oahu alone, while police tell us traffic fatalities number 166.
You know, if you have a parent who's given all the drug services and treatment in the world to get healthy and get better, and doesn't go and doesn't care, which we see a lot of, then at some point, you know, you have to think about the stability in terms of that child's permanency in giving that child an opportunity to have some sort of stability. You have to address the issue of the fact that they're not getting better, they're not doing anything, and therefore that's when the state of Hawaii files a motion to terminate their parental rights. And that's not an easy decision to make, and it's only a decision that's made after an extensive trial and a lot of different evidence that comes in.
Once a determination has been made by the courts that a child should enter the foster system, that child is eligible for medical and dental coverage, living assistance payments, and other benefits until he or she ages out at 21 years old. That age was recently raised from age 18, thanks to a new court initiative called Imua Kako.
I know, as many parents know, our children are not ready to leave the nest at the age of 18 and continue to need support. The same is true of youth who are in foster care. So what this court does is it provides an avenue in conjunction with Department of Human Services and the various different sort of programs that we have to provide for that transition, to provide for an opportunity for them to develop independent living skills as well as educational opportunities. And it is in a court setting so that the court can maintain some oversight.
It can be difficult to truly understand the challenges facing foster children. We sat down with three remarkable young people who have aged out of the foster system but continue to be active by working with Epic Ohana, a foster youth advocacy organization. They shared some of their experiences in the foster care system. You know, I was a foster child, and when I was adopted, even though it was at a young age, I was thinking, if I was given away once, I could be given away again. And did any of you share that type of feeling with your new foster?
Yeah, definitely. It's like a frightening experience. You never know when you're gonna leave. And you get comfortable there, you bond with the family, and next thing you know, you could be pulled out and move into another district.
I call it self-sabotage because I felt like, oh, I'm going to move anyway, so it doesn't matter. They're going to give me up anyway. And I always had that mentality, you know, stemming from before I entered foster care because of the experiences that led me up to foster care. I figured it didn't matter anyway. And I just remember not wanting to unpack my things because I didn't want to stay there. I didn't know how long I was going to be there, and I just didn't want to get comfortable.
Nellie went into foster care at age 12. She was put through more than 20 placements.
Although I am from the Big Island, I'm from Hilo, I was put in placements here on Oahu, and I ran from placements here on Oahu, so I was on the run in Waikiki. I was on the run in Waikiki for about a year when I was 13 and 14 years old. I had a lot of problems making connections to the families for whatever reason, sometimes my own, sometimes theirs. And that's what I would do all the time. And, you know, I wasn't running to anything. I just felt like I was always running from something.
Jernani began the first of 5 foster placements when he was 14.
Being separated from your family, from the people that care about you, the people that you're very close with, has a very hard hit on your heart. You know, it has that toll on you. And for me, being in foster care, being separated from my mom, you know, I had that, you know, depression. I went through that phase, and it really traumatized me during that time in my life. But now everything has gone better thanks to support that are out there for me.
Noi was placed in foster homes more than 15 times. She was in and out of juvenile detention. She got pregnant. Then one day,
I thought to myself, I can't do this. You know, I have a daughter, I have another human being's life that is dependent on me. And luckily, I got the support of my foster parents and their relentless support, and that really has made all the difference for me and my children now. The way I see it is there is no other option. To me, failure is not an option. Going backwards is not an option. Being a product of my environment and upbringing is not an option for me. It's going to come down to choices. Are you going to choose to break the cycle or to perpetuate that cycle?
Noi is pursuing her associate's degree and will enlist in the Air Force. Jernani has graduated with a bachelor's degree in public administration and wants to go to law school and become a family court judge. Nellie is completing her master's degree and holds down 3 part-time jobs.
We are not bad kids. Don't judge us based on our past or our file or what we look like or what we bring with us. Don't give up on us, no matter how hard we try to push you away. Coming out of foster care, we feel like we have something to prove. I know I do.
When I had like my foster parents believing in me in a time and a period where I couldn't believe in myself, in a period like that was the lowest form in my life, being in foster care, that's when I knew, you know, I could go out there and make it, and they were my biggest supporters.
So a foster situation can work.
Yeah,
It can't work. It's what you make of it.
exactly.
It's not how you start, it's how you end. It's like a football game, game of chess.
Foster care can be as temporary as one day, or can be the beginning of a bond that can last a lifetime. Kau'i Keola and her husband Rocco provide a crucial link in the chain of foster care. Their dedication to Hawaii's children is extraordinary.
Well, As an emergency shelter, we are on call 24/7, 365 days a year, no vacations, and they will call at any time. And it's good to have that, and it's good for us to feel that need, because in situations where children are removed, they're not removed between 8 and 4, Monday through Friday. And if they don't have a place to go, even the little children will have to go to a shelter, or they have to sit at the police station waiting for someone to be able to take care of them.
What's your size? You are 3.
More than 15 years ago, the Keolas responded to a request for foster parents, which came from their church, and they have been taking in children ever since. They have 3 biological children, 3 adopted children, and 3 foster kids. That number could change at any moment. Kaui and Rocco have taken in more than 50 children in the last 5 years alone.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. It's a sad number, but I'm glad we were there for them, you know.
Sad because
My dream, I don't know if it would ever be a reality, but my dream would be not to foster anymore, because all of the children are safe. And the sadness is, if they're coming into foster care, they've experienced something traumatic, or not good for them, not of their own choosing, and it's just a side effect of what happens with the parents. And even the parents, they're not bad people. The parents have made bad choices, and it's affected their children, but they're not bad people, and they can get back on track. They have opportunities to get back on track and get their children back. In our home, when you walk in the door, you are now part of our family. Whether you stay 1 day or 100 days, you're always going to be part of our family. And I tell the children that when they leave.
Come over here, babe. Here. We'll take this. You can take this, okay?
I don't have a lot of things, really. I don't have much. But I have a lot to offer. I mean, our family can give you all the love you want. I mean, it's pouring out of us. We can give you time. We can play. I can't give you things. I can't buy you anything with a name on it. But I can give you the things that money can't buy. And to me, that's more important.
It's a rewarding experience. It has its challenges, and we are here as a department to provide the knowledge, the support, the training to help make it an experience that they will look back on and say, I made a difference in the child's life.
For me, personally, I feel no matter what walks of life you come from, everybody deserves to have a place to call home and a family. And if we can step into that, up to that plate, we're not replacing their parents, we never do, but we're being parents. We can show them love and a family, and that everyone has a place to call home.
these folks should be celebrated and honored by us as a community as a whole, by a state. Without them, as I said, we would be we would have lost thousands of children.
All we need is support, really. We need a lot of support, and that's going to help us to become successful people and contributing members in this community.
And to this day, they're still my biggest supporters, and I would like to thank them for that from the bottom of my heart. And with that support, I was able to reach out to other foster youth as well and be an advocate, a role model, an icon of change for these youth in care.
There are so many people within the CPS system and within the judiciary and folks who are incredible, who have been foster parents and are foster parents, who are out there who understand this issue and understand the problem and care. And without them, I mean, they're just absolutely heroes, is my view.
Of course, I don't think of myself as a hero. I'm a mom, and my job is just to take care of the children and love them.
We believe the foster parents you met tonight are heroes. For very little money, they have committed their lives to taking children out of abusive or neglectful homes. They have dedicated themselves to providing safe homes for children who feel isolated, confused, and afraid. These foster parents in our community are giving children the tools to develop feelings of self-worth, of love, of caring, and of trust. If you would consider becoming a foster parent as a first step we urge you to contact Hui Ho'omalu, the Partners in Development Foundation. We hope you will begin the journey toward helping the many Hawaii children who need a permanent home. Thank you for joining us. I'm Matt Levi. Good night.
As far as fostering goes, it's such a positive. It's the opportunity to make a positive in a child's life. Every child is born with a bowl of light, and when bad things happen, rocks go in there and dim their light. And so we have the opportunity when they come to us, you can dump your bowl out and we'll fill it with more light. And we hope that the children that come through here leave with a bright light to their future, to whatever they're going to do, and no more rocks going their bowl.
Matt Levi Investigates, brought to you by Chaminade University of Honolulu, a native Hawaiian serving institution. Hawaii Gas, the clean energy company. Office of Hawaiian Affairs, empowering Hawaiians, strengthening Hawaii. BEI Hawaii, Hawaii's largest distributor of industrial chemicals, fertilizers, and agricultural products. Hawaiian Electric Companies, modernizing our grid to deliver more clean energy. Hawaii Pacific Health, a not-for-profit network of hospitals, clinics, doctors, and other caregivers, serving Hawaii and the Pacific region at Kapiolani, Polimomi, Straub, and Wilcox. Prudential Locations, Hawaii's most comprehensive real estate website. Search for your dream home today. And First Hawaiian Bank, it all starts with yes.